going on, everybody? This is Jacob Vile for a little build update. So today I took out all of my port. I'm going to be doing some tape. Pretty much going to be taping the whole enclosure. So right now, currently, I'm in the box with my head and sounds pretty echoey, but I'm going to be just like in my old 160s build. I'm just going to put tape all the way around. So stay tuned. Going to have a build update with all the box taped 100%. I'm probably going to be adjusting this port too, and I'm going to see how low I can play. So I'm probably not going to be as big of a port, and I'll start from this end and go down like I did on the port adjustments before instead of doing square. So the ultimate goal is to be able to get the lows frequency. So I'm going to have my port area really small. So before it was around 70% of my cone area, probably going to have to get that down to around 30 to 40% cone area in order to actually have cone control to where the lows can play well. So that's a quick thing, real quick, if anybody doesn't know, with subwoofers, cone control comes in play with the low frequencies of sealed enclosures as well as fourth orders when it comes to port area. So the amount of port area versus cone area does vary with cone control and how you get your low output. So as you tweak your port area, you'll get more lows. So a lot of people have asked me about that issue with fourth orders with their build is, hey man, I don't have the lows like I want it. My box sealed section is big, but my port area was really big. So like that's something I was telling them is like, how big is your port area? And most people's port area is normally around between 40 and 60%, sometimes 70% port area. If you reduce your port area, say 10, 15, 20%, that could give you more low output. The downfall of that is you're going to actually lose output on the high end. So I might be able to bring my frequency down to, say, I'll peak at 38 hertz instead of 42, 43 hertz where I am. I might lose 4 or 5 frequencies, but I'm going to lose 2 or 3 dBs, but I'm going to be able to drop my frequency 5 to 7 hertz. And then I'm also going to be able to play down 10 hertz lower than I did before. So that's the overall reason behind going on the low end response. So you might lose output going on the low end response, playing down to, let's say, 20 to 18, 20 hertz, but instead of playing 28 to 30 hertz and up, going down 10 hertz, but you're going to lose the high end to gain on the low end. And that happens with a lot of builds. That's why a lot of people go with bandpass enclosures and sixth orders, especially because you don't lose as much on the low end response compared to high end when you got 2 different tunings you can go with. But with these kind of enclosures, you'll get the lows, but you're going to always lose one or the other. You're always going to have some form of slope. Anyway, this isn't the prettiest, like I always mention. Sorry, it's kind of loud, people driving by. It's not the prettiest, but it works. So about this tape, this is the name of the tape and the label. One of them I didn't open, 2.5 inch, 50 yard foil tape, 3M aluminum. That's what I use. So this roll is $15. I used like 20 of these rolls on my 160 dB build, so I had literally over $200 in tape in my build. In this box, I'll probably have around $80 in tape in the box, just on tape. It's not the prettiest, and I know I could easily go with some resin or fiberglass resin. I could resin the whole box. I could paint it, make it look pretty, but you know, everybody's got their own opinion, their own system. This is mine, so I'm just gonna tape the whole thing. But that's a build update for today on that. And I'll be doing some more tweaks and videos on that as well. And stay tuned, I'll be doing some electrical videos too. A couple of videos I'm going to be discussing on that in upcoming days as well. And see where we go from there. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. And stay tuned for more videos. Hope this gave you all a good update for today. Give me some feedback too. Another thing, I forgot to mention. I had a piece of wood down here, all the way down, that I noticed was supposed to be flush with this wood, but what happened is the wood doesn't seal, so I need to make sure that this is sealed before I put that wood back in if I decide to. So that also kind of affected my port leg length a little bit, and then just the overall flush mount location. So 2x6s aren't as pretty, but this is the concept I have, where I got screws to mount onto the wood at the bottom. I'm going to put more screws in here as well to make sure it's guaranteed to not flex. So yep, I got 3 rolls of tape. We'll see how much I got left over afterward. So stay tuned for the video tomorrow to see how the box looks. I'm not gonna do I already did the meter test, so I kind of know what my meter results are before and after doing the tape, because a lot of people are going to say, hey Jacob, did you do a meter test before and after? Make sure you know what your results were to see if you gain or lose. So you can do that. but to an extent it's extremely hard in SPL, because if your port length changes even half an inch difference, or profile changes at all, anything changes internally or port wise, you will have a different output response. So it's going to be really hard to trace before and after meter scores of tape. But I know for sure 100% I'm going to gain, just because it's a smoother surface than wood, and there's probably a couple holes I'm still sealing from the air box video I made previously before that. But that's the update for today. All right, that's a pretty big box for a single 10, so stay tuned. So before I put it in tape, I'm going to be vacuuming it out. Get a little mini vacuum, portable vacuum, any vacuum works. So I got to get all of the dust out of here. So the other thing you notice is there's a lot of dust and debris in boxes sometimes if you don't notice. So stuff like that actually absorbs pressure. And also keep in mind, if you got dust in certain corners of your box, you actually have a leak point there, or a dead spot is what a lot of people would say. Normally sawdust is a trick that SPL people use to where you can find dead spots in your subwoofer box. So ever have a little bit of dust, put it in the corner of a box and then see what happens. Do you blow that dust out, or is it stuck in a corner dead spot? So if you have dead spots in your boxes, that's something you want to look into resolving. Normally people resolve it by making sure you don't have like an air leak in that spot, or a crack or a crease, or you even have a dip, or it's uneven. You might even need to put 45s in some areas. So if you ever have dead spots and that's an example of concept, then that's something you want to look into. So I figured I'd add that in the video as well, for something for you guys to consider. So that's the last view you'll see of it before I have it fully taped in the next video tomorrow. So it's definitely going to be cool. Time to vacuum.